Buy versus rent. Right up there with what came first, the chicken or the egg, and what's the meaning of life, there's the life-altering question we all ask ourselves. Should I buy or should I rent? This question does require some thought and evaluation. While the cost is quantifiable, most of the pieces of our decision are not easily measured, but they could be the most important to us individually, such as 1, cost of home ownership versus renting, 2, stability, 3, financial predictability, 4, growing home equity, and 5, flexibility. We'll go over each briefly. Number 1 is the cost of your home ownership versus renting. How much can you afford monthly? How much will closing costs be? Depending on the property will also dictate how much maintenance costs will be as well. Know that there could be other costs that could be case by case depending on the house's condition. The best first step is to speak with the lender to get clarity on what the numbers would truly look like. If you need a reputable lender, let me know. I'll be more than happy to introduce you to somebody. Once you know what the numbers look like and the price range you would need to be at, then what are your options? What homes are out there that fit your budget? Once you have that figured out, then determine what the cost of rent would be, including deposits, and does the cost to rent versus buy make sense to you numbers wise. Now, please understand that for most people, the cost of purchasing is more than renting. So why do people decide to buy versus rent or vice versa? It's because the cost is just one of the factors, which brings me to my second point. Number 2 is stability. Our value of stability usually has to do with our current family status and or the value we hold on the area. Do our kids go to school? Do we value those schools? Is where we live in proximity to where we work important? The challenge with renting is that at any given time, depending on your lease agreement, the owner where you live could raise the rents outside of your budget or decide to sell the home. How would having to move when you weren't intending to move affect your situation? Would you be able to find a rental where you want to be? Would your kids have to change schools? Are those schools to your standards for your children? The answer doesn't have to be negative. A change could be a positive one. So stability weighs heavy on many people. By buying, you have stability and knowing that selling and moving is your decision and not your landlord's, so you don't have to worry about having to move when you weren't planning on it. To be fair, I do know people that love moving and enjoy moving around. It's not a one-size-fits-all situation. So what's important to you in regards to stability? Number 3 is financial predictability. With a mortgage, you're being qualified by a lender who is making certain that based on your income and debt, that there's a high probability that you can afford the payments in the foreseeable future. You'll have the predictable monthly payment, which brings the peace of mind that you know what your expenses are going to be with no surprises. When you rent, however, you have to consider your rent could go up at any given time if you're having to move because the landlord is selling and won't renew your lease. Then you're having to consider the cost that comes with that move. That's the cost of moving, the deposits, the probability of finding something that's suitable at the same price or less in a desirable area. Again, personal things to think about and evaluate based on your priority. Number 4 is growing home equity. As the famous quote goes, 90% of all millionaires became so through owning real estate. In 2019, homeowners in the US had a median net worth of $255,000, while renters had a net worth of just $6,300. If all else is equal, you just can't decide what's best for you, then this should sway you to buy. Why build your landlord's wealth when you can grow your own? Still, this is only one piece of the puzzle to consider, but a major one. Number 5, lastly, we have flexibility. Renting offers flexibility in the sense that you're not tied down to having to deal with either renting or selling your home if you decide to leave. This is of massive value to many people who value convenience and don't desire to deal with what comes with selling or being a landlord. Is this a major value to you? Only you can answer that. So is buying or renting best for you? That depends. I hope we didn't confuse things more for you, but clarity is power. And when making major decisions, it's important to think things through and ask important questions. Our goal was to give you some questions to ask yourself in hopes that it would bring clarity. If we can be of value to you in consulting with you in regards to your specific situation, please shoot us an email at info@rphomegroup.com and we would love to help. Thank you for watching the video. If you want to see more videos like this, please subscribe and smash the like button so that we know that you like what we're doing, so we'll do more of it.